It's the Monday after Thanksgiving, and I am trying to plan out strategically what I need to get done at work before the end of the year. And I'm hearing so much feedback from the market because what I do in my day job is I'm a leadership and culture consultant for mid-sized organizations. So I help them figure out how to build leadership development programs, how to roll out manager competencies, how to get their teams all speaking the same language, how to actually codify culture within the organization, how to build a culture operating system. So I'm talking to senior leaders, I'm talking to executive leaders, I'm talking to people leaders all day long. And I have worked in the corporate space my whole career. And I just want to share some insight that I'm seeing in my day job that I think is so relevant around the work I'm trying to do on my own stuff with Chief Troublemaker, right? Which is that we are seeing more and more layoffs. We're seeing more and more cuts across companies. And as much as we're seeing in the news that this is all about AI and the worry that your job is going to be replaced by AI, that's not really why, right? It is simply just an acceleration of the capitalist instinct that has driven Silicon Valley from the beginning. And it's just about maximizing profit at all costs. So AI becomes a nice scapegoat in some ways, but what's happening is that the people that are left are being expected to do more, right? And they're being given tools or resources to do it, some of which are good, some of which suck. And the reality is that a lot of organizations aren't necessarily cutting their budgets, but they are cutting their headcount. So when the layoffs happen, right, and they're able to cut headcount and show their investors, show their boards, hey, look at all this fixed cost that we eliminated. That's a win for them. That's a win. That's a win for their short term portfolios. That's a win for all of them. They all make money in the short term, and that's all they all care about. What they're ultimately doing, though, is that budget sticks around, just not for headcount, not to backfill more people, but to get more tools and resources and one off costs and things like that. We're moving away from SaaS as king subscription models. Everything was a SaaS service. Companies don't want to be locked in to these 3-year contracts anymore. So much of SaaS that got to market was just garbage. And so my biggest advice, especially for women who have corporate experience, especially if you are like me and a midlife woman who's done some healing and is maybe late diagnosed, neurodivergent, started to actually realize the depth and breadth of your skills and how hemmed in you really were in the corporate world. It's not a mistake, right? That's by design. And I think the biggest mistake mid-career women, especially corporate folks, can do right now is try to figure out how to get back in the game and do how to try to level up to do what you were doing before. That's done. I don't think that should be the goal anymore. The goal is figuring out what are the skills that you need to get to the next place, right? You kind of have to figure out what's your roadmap and then what are the benchmark skills that you need to acquire to get there and piecemeal them together, right? Because I think for a lot of women, it's, do I want to leave corporate? Am I going to start a totally different business? Am I going to get into consulting? Am I going to do coaching? And no matter what direction you go, I think one of the things is you got to work on building your own personal brand. You've got to have your own brand, your own voice, your own identity, right? That can then help power whatever your business or different kind of tertiary areas that you want to pursue. Your brand is yours. It doesn't belong to your company. It doesn't belong to your boss. It's something you are building that you take with you from job to job, engagement to engagement, consulting gig to consulting gig. You own your own personal brand, right? Even if you decided to give it all up and walk away from your corporate career and buy I don't know, a local oil change franchise or something. Because again, I think a lot of local businesses are an interesting pivot that people are looking at. But even if you go in that direction, you still need to figure out like what's your personal brand? How are you showing up to talk about those things? Right? And I think that's a really interesting place for especially really creative women who have been stifled for so long. We have access to so much technology, so many resources. We can use AI to teach ourselves how to do things that maybe we didn't have access to before. I mean, I taught myself how to build a website using AI. I taught myself how to, like, I go back and forth to get ideas when I'm brainstorming. I have ADHD, so I can just like word vomit and have it help me organize my thoughts to then build out my business plan for the things that I want to do and bounce some ideas back and forth. And it's I still have a day job and I'm building my own personal brand so that that becomes portable and I take that with me wherever I go next. And I just think for women right now, there's so much uncertainty. A lot of the layoffs are hitting women a lot harder than they're hitting men. So many women have been forced out of the workforce in America in 2025. There's money to be made, but not as a full-time employee. Whether you want to stay in corporate or not, build your personal brand today. Start building your personal brand. Start figuring out what is your message, what is your personal brand, what is your battle cry, what do you believe in, and have that be your centered, aligned thing that is your value system, that doesn't change, that is your brand, that goes with you wherever you go. Now, if you want to go totally in a different direction, find a local business, do something totally different, that brand is still going to come in handy, right? But what I'm talking a little bit more about today is the people that want to stay in the corporate world, in the work they're doing, whether it's sales or sales enablement or HR or leadership development or whatever, right? Build your own consulting practice. Build your own practice where you can go in and consult and do ad hoc things with the companies that you've worked for or with in your corporate career. Because what I'm telling you right now is that the budgets haven't gone away, but they won't go to a headcount. They will go to a vendor. They will go to a resource. They will go to AI and other things, right? And as an outside vendor or a potential consultant, I can tell you right now, the most important thing that you need to be able to connect with them, I mean, personal relationships are best to get you in the door, but it's being able to tell a simple story and make the connection, make the problem connection, visually make them understand that you understand their challenge and lay out something really it's a narrative like hero's arc journey that you have to be able to articulate for them. And if you can get that emotional resonance and they realize that like, oh, you can come in and help me and I don't have to worry about trying to fight for headcount because I can't get that right now, but I do still have budget and I can bring in an external resource because I'm running on fumes because the rest of my team has been laid off and I haven't really gotten a full night's sleep in a year. Yeah, you're going to have a lot better chance of finding success as a consultant in that way with these businesses right now. Oh, that's my advice on Monday after Thanksgiving as we kick off the last month of the year in 2025, which has been a nightmare for all of us. I just wanted to kind of word dump some thoughts. If any of this is helpful, great. If not, hope you enjoy my little setup and my cute outfit today.